picking that back up after she arrived and I was navigating that new space, it was like this home that I was coming home to. Today, I want to share some ideas around how to navigate creativity and creating as a new mom. I know what it's like to feel overwhelmed and lonely, and like you just don't even have that mental space to create something or to do the things that you once loved to do. And of course, there's that season of just devoting all of your energy to healing your body and taking care of your baby. But I'm really talking about those moments where you're past the 4th trimester and your mind starts to get into that, maybe it's a dark place or a rut, or you just don't really see a way out and you don't know what to do about it. So I wanted to share some ideas that served me in the first 6 to 9 months of my postpartum journey and becoming a new mom and learning to navigate creativity and incorporating that into my lifestyle, into my day when it wasn't my job or it wasn't just something I could pick up whenever I wanted to. So I want to give you these ideas, kind of spark this conversation, and hopefully it will help navigate you and your journey. Although I'm sure it looks very different in everyone's life, hopefully these thoughts will serve you and encourage you where you're at right now. With my own postpartum journey, we went through what I would call a traumatic birth story. Our baby was healthy, but just some things about the birth story kind of sent me into some mental spirals, and it was a hard postpartum afterwards. And I had recently laid down my creative job. I created leather goods and I sold that full time, and I worked on that for a while, years and years, and to lay that down before my baby felt like the right thing to do. But after she came, I felt like I didn't have anything to work on or anything just to hold on to in that way and kind of be that outlet for me. So I really didn't know how to spend my time, and I didn't know how to fill my days with creativity and to find those little outlets that I love to do. And I also didn't really give myself or feel like I had the permission to do so. Whether that was the truth or not, it was how I felt. And I think that really clouded a lot of my thinking and clouded a lot of me taking steps forward. So I hit a point where I just started asking myself these questions. From that, it sparked some great conversation between my husband and me. And we just kind of came to this point where I needed that space to create. And I think it's just pinpointing what is good for you and how it will help you in this season. I know a lot of new moms that need a massage or extra sleep, or it could be anything, but all of those things just didn't resonate with me personally. I'm sure all of the above would have been nice, but for me, I just desired that space to create and have no agenda about it at all. So that's what we did. We just kind of made a plan of, at this time every day, this is your time. And it's special because my husband had that personal one-on-one time with our daughter, and it gave me time to step away. And that is where just things started to click. It was like I had no agenda, nothing to no end goal, but it was like things started to click and turn back on. And that was a really special season for me. I think what was so special about that time, those 30 minutes, hour and a half a day that I got to get away, I wasn't just creating a project and kind of reaching an end goal. And many days I didn't. I just kind of made something and it was fine. It wasn't great. But in that joy, I could just see my mental health being healed and my body healing. And it was just things were just coming back to I feel like myself again. I could just see a glimmer of hope. Your story may look very different than mine, and maybe you just don't even know that you can ask for help or feel that permission to ask for help. But I'm telling you that asking for help is the main thing that will just get you through this season. And I think asking for help is just that first step that kind of all the dominoes start to slowly fall, or you just see like another step in front of you. And I think that applies to many areas of our life. Asking for help can kind of seem like this weakness, or it could seem like a burden to someone else, but I would like to encourage you that it's one of the best things you can do for yourself and your family and your new baby. So I wanted to share some thoughts and ideas that really helped me and hopefully will just spark something in you. And before I do that, I'm going to read this quote that I've just really loved. And it's by Edith Schaefer. I read one of her books that was gifted to me by my neighbor. And it's about homemaking, and it's kind of a simple book, but I took a lot from it and just I enjoyed it. So I will share this quote from it. You are created in the image of the Creator. If you have been afraid that your love of beautiful flowers and the flickering flame of the candle is something less spiritual than living in starkness and ugliness, remember that He who created you to be creative gave you the things with which to make beauty and gave you the sensitivity to appreciate and respond to His creation. Creativity is His gift to you, and the raw materials to be put together in various ways are His gift to you as well. I love that quote because it just shows that there is purpose in beauty, there's purpose in creating, and it's not just to have something around you that is beautiful, but it unlocks something in each of us, and it's a gift to those around us. So creating is purposeful, and your desire to create is good, and so you can follow that. So my first idea to navigate this new season is to start with something that you know, instead of just taking on an entirely new project or avenue of creativity. So whether that is like something you've practiced in the past or something that's small and a little easier to grasp, start with that small step. So when you find something that is familiar for your hands to navigate and to work on, it allows you to enter that place of rest, and it allows you to enter that flow that you can get into and kind of pick up things where you left off. It might feel a little shaky at first, like you haven't done this in a few months or years, but when you kind of pick it up, it'll be like riding a bike, hopefully, and I'm sure you'll approach it with new eyes now. But take your time. And so before having my daughter, I sewed probably most every other day. And so picking that back up after she arrived and I was navigating that new space, it was like this home that I was coming home to. If you haven't ever created anything before, I think this is a great opportunity to buy a kit or a pattern or something that is just super easy to grasp, because you want to kind of start with those small wins to kind of build your confidence and make this restful and not stressful. My second idea is to just release and lower your expectations. Like I said in my video about making something every day, it's not always about finishing. Lowering that expectation that I'm going to finish something today or this week and just say, I'm going to work on this today and I'm going to kind of take a step forward in it and see how far I can get, and kind of releasing that expectation so you can actually enjoy the process of it all. And I think that is just this freeing thing that will help you on your journey. My third idea is to create to heal. I think knowing that the creative process isn't about the thing, it's about the bigger picture and about what's happening in you than what you're actually working on is a very powerful part of this healing and creative journey as a mother. And once I started creating, it was just so obvious that I was healing as well. So just knowing that this isn't frivolous, or this isn't just something you're doing to kind of throw away your time, it's this like inward change that's happening too. So when you just have this idea that you're creating to get to the end result, then I think you'll just miss what's happening in you in the process. And when I working on things and making things and they weren't turning out, but I was making them and it was great, then I was just seeing that healing within me happen. And it just helped me to process a lot of the things that I haven't yet, and process those heavy things that I didn't even know I was carrying. Have that idea of, I'm not just creating for this end goal, I'm creating because it's good for me and it's nourishing to my mind and my body and how I was wired. And when you have that in place, it kind of releases you to just get lost in that process. Another idea is to find the things that make you come alive, because everyone is creative in their own way and everyone kind of has their own hobbies and avenues of creativity that they like to explore. So if you haven't found that yet, continue to seek it out, continue to try new things. And I know I said earlier to start with what you know, and the more you kind of start there and then you take steps and explore new avenues as you feel confident and you kind of feel like you have more headspace to explore, just follow those things that make you feel alive and not really the things that you feel like you should do. I think that's a huge key in this whole process. So I love the idea of just having my daughter around while I create. And of course I had that moment to get away, whether that was 30 minutes or so, and I enjoyed that time. But the more that I created when she was around, it was like this picture was coming alive of like, oh, this is what I was created for. Like, this is why I create. One of my favorite things when my daughter was young was to just put her in her rocker and give her a toy or have her sit there, and I would create and sew. And it was just this like bonding time when I got to create and kind of have that avenue, and she was right beside me. Having a baby beside you is just very inspiring sometimes. And so that was a special moment because babies are just taking in everything from like day one. And just knowing that she's like taking this in and that tone is being set for creativity, and it's showing her at a young age, like, you have permission to create and you have this permission to do the things that were put inside you and to practice making things and to get better and to just do it because you love it, and create while your baby's around, while they're playing on the playmat beside you, and you don't know what that is doing in them at such a young age. And I think that is just really beautiful, and I think this is even setting the tone for when she grows up. We can create together, she can create alongside me, and then she'll go on to have her own creative endeavors in her own way, and I think that's pretty cool. And finally, just take a break, take a rest, take a walk outside, sit in the sun. These are all things that will nourish your creativity as you are walking out this new season. There's no pressure at all. It's just navigating it in a way with being able to see it with this fresh eyes and this permission to follow that creative desire that you have. And it all serves a greater purpose. It serves you, it serves your family, it serves your baby, it serves your neighbor. I know this list is not exhaustive. I could talk about this for a long time because I'm really passionate about new mothers who have that desire to create, to find that space to do so. Overall, I just want to invite you into the slow pace of, I'm going to put down my phone, I'm going to put down that distraction that's not feeding me well and nourishing my body, and I'm going to choose the things that will nourish my body and my family, the things that make you come alive. And as you come alive and you're filled up, you're able to pour out and love your family even more than how you're already doing so. Give you a little freedom to say yes, to pick up that project, to explore that creative hobby that you had years ago. I hope that as you do, you find healing, you find rest, and you find just a joy that you haven't seen in a while. So I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you stuck around with me. I would love to kind of talk this out with you. If you have any questions or just need a friend, just let me know. I'm rooting for you. You're a great mom.